Hey, what's up guys? So today we're going to be going over the final new card for Dragunities in the new structure deck. So anyways, let's go ahead and check it out. We'll go over a bunch of the other reprints, kind of a recap of what is new for Dragunities, as well as going over all of the more important highlights for the reprints in this, as there are quite a bit of good ones here. But anyways, this card over here is Dragunity of the Hurricane. It is the last card, so the final new card from the Dragunity Drive R. So anyways, Dragunity of the Hurricane is a spell. It's a quick play one, and it says you can only activate one card with this card's name per turn. The first effect says if only your opponent controls a monster, you cannot special summon monsters from the extract for the rest of this turn after this card resolves, except for dragon monsters. Also special summon one Dragunity Tuner and one Wing Beast Dragunity monster from your deck, but negate their effects. Then, if your opponent controls a monster special summon from the extract, immediately after this effect resolves, you can synchro summon one dragon synchro monster using only Dragunity monsters you control. So, obviously, that's not too bad of an effect. And if you look at Dragunities, in terms of what you can do, you can actually throw up a pretty decent board. I actually recently covered a video. I mean, we're talking about locking your opponent out of completely using any spells and the entire extra deck without even using this card. Obviously, this is a really great opener, as it does have that effect where it's like if your opponent controls someone from the extra deck, you just completely get to go off, because it's special summoning straight up from the deck. And that, even if, of course, that gets stopped, you're still kind of baiting out your opponent's stuff. But if you can follow this up with, let's say, you start off with like a Dark Ruler no more, or if you go ahead and let's say Impermanence, a card that would, let's say, negate this, you're still getting those cards potentially in the graveyard, even if you, let's say, go for the tuner and the monster, and then immediately go for the synchro. And the synchro effect is, let's say, going to go ahead and be able to, as a quick effect, negate something. You're going to be able to just have those cards in the graveyard for later plays, so this is where it becomes even more powerful. Technically, yeah, I guess if you want to go first with this, it's maybe not the best, because it says only if your opponent controls a monster, which I'm assuming means that you can't have a monster. But if you guys remember, there might be some interesting interactions and plays with anything that would give your opponent a token. We recently covered that one card FTK. If maybe you can somehow give your opponent a token and you don't have one, this would be even more interesting if you could just utilize that effect, but that would require another card, which again makes it a little bit more complicated. But this card definitely has some potential to be quite great, again more so going second, so to speak, because it just forces your opponent to bait out something. And because we're playing so many now Forbidden Droplet, a lot of people main decking Chalice as well, I think this can be an overall decent card. Now, kind of going over some of the highlights and essentially what is getting printed in this new Dragunity thing, because some of these got mentioned, I didn't really cover it in a video because it was just like we announced one card at a time. They did things kind of slow. But as far as like a new boss monster, the Edrebier is really fantastic. Did a video covering it. Again, I'll pin that down below if any of you guys want to see like most of the new Dragunities here. And the downside of this card saying that you can only go for dragon monsters, where is it? After this card resolves, except for dragon monsters. So you can't special summon monsters from the extract except for dragons, but it's really not that big of a deal, considering, well, one, this card is usually rarely going to be going into anything. It's just another, like, meter. But this is one of the other newer Dragunity cards here, as we're kind of highlighting here. We also have Legatus, which can pop a back row, but it's just a free another special summon monster. Now, Remus also has this effect over here, where you can't go for anything except for dragons, so, like, it doesn't really hurt your deck too much at the end of the day. There's also the Draft, that's another newer card, Dragunity of the Hurricane, which is the new card that we just went over. There's also Glow over here, which lets you go ahead and add a level 5 or higher Dragunity monster from your deck or your graveyard to your hand, and then you can banish it and then target one of the back row Dragunities and then special summon. So it has a little bit of extra utility here. Purgatory doesn't really see too much play in terms of like, yeah, I know it's a Dragunity card, but at the end of the day, in terms of like, most people that have been showing off different builds, they didn't even show it off because you could just run Solemn. I know, again, it's a Dragunity card, so it can kind of be a little bit more helpful if, of course, you require Dragunity cards. Cult by the Grave, it's about $5 right now. It's still a fantastic card to get as a reprint. Cypher already got reprinted over in the gold, the 10 Lost Memories. I feel like that kind of made it less popular in terms of having an awesome reprint of it. Same thing with the Brotar. This is also getting reprinted in here. So again, since they all got recently reprinted. Same thing with World Legacy Guard Dragon. I felt like all of these cards they all got reprinted. Again, Called by the Grave is probably one of the more like better highlights most decks will be interested in versus like some of these other cards. But I know there are other Chaos variants that can make use out of, again, some of these cards like this over here. But overall, I'm curious to know what you guys think of the new cards and the entire reprints in this. Is this even worth picking up if you guys are interested in Dragunities? I would say probably not, but there is still just a few more cards. I think we're missing like 4 cards as our announcement, but they're not going to be new cards. They're going to be reprints of other things that exist in, I'm guessing, some form of Dragunities. Heck, there's DD Crone here. That's kind of cool, but again, that card's not really like a highlight as it's just not that expensive. Anyways, if you guys want to see actual gameplay of new Dragunities without this card, and you can see how good it is, this is, again, it's just going to make your combos a little bit better, and it'll really set you up. And I'll get you guys gameplay as soon as it is available on Yugioh Pro, as Dragunities are quite strong. And if you guys want to send me replays of them, because I know you Dragunity players are probably going to make some great use out of it, feel free to send in a replay file to AzneyesReplays@gmail.com or hit me up via the Discord. But thanks for tuning in, guys, and if you enjoyed the video, drop a like on it, and if you are new here, subscribe and turn on that bell so you don't miss out on other newer Yu-Gi-Oh cards, as well as kind of going over like highlights and stuff like that. Obviously, we went over all like the good reprints in this one over here. Anyways, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a good one, and I'm out. Peace.